Hey everyone, this is a clip from the regular exclusive podcast. If you like what you hear, then subscribe for more and find our podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Should we talk about She Hulk now?
Let's talk about She Hulk now that you mention it. I
Okay.
I need to know what your terrible opinions about this are.
I I don't have I mean, I'm sure you'll think they're terrible. So this is a funny kind of show for me. I didn't really feel anything for it for the first 6 episodes. It was kind of similar to Obi-Wan, where I just didn't think anything was happening. I was just like,
That was the
there's
point. It's low stakes show. It's all about Jen and her small problems. It's not about
no,
and that's what you always say you want from Marvel.
I agree. I also want you to not interrupt me when I'm trying to talk.
I'm sorry. I got defensive for She-Hulk. Go ahead. I She-Hulked out.
Yeah, we should have had you go first.
No, go ahead. I want to hear this. I'll mute myself.
No, it just didn't really seem like the story was going anywhere. And I get that it's a legal comedy, but like I don't know, it just wasn't really working for me. I love the main actress. What's her name again?
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, she's great.
She's amazing.
I really enjoyed her. I've I just kind of felt bad for her because I just felt like the writing wasn't very good.
Really?
And
I thought it was perfect. It was
okay,
incredible writing for me, but this show has been pretty divisive, so I get
yeah,
it. Like it's not for everybody, but for me it's like this has been hitting all the right notes. Like I've been enjoying the writing and the comedy and all that.
and I'll just say real quick, I am not triggered by the men are assholes thing. Like I'm not one of those guys.
Literally, that's everything that people have been criticizing the show for the whole time, though. So,
Yeah.
like, the fact that they knew that that was gonna be the thing, and then they, like, wrote it into the show is, like, just perfection. It's like they're very meta, which is probably why I like it because 'cause I'm a big fan of things that are, like, aware of what you know what I mean? They're just,
Yeah,
like they're
they're
meta.
like they're trolling trolls.
Yes, but also
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's like Scream, like, the characters were, like, the first ones to be like, "Yeah, no, we've seen a bunch of horror movies. We know the stupid shit that everybody does, and we're gonna make fun of it and talk about it." So it's kind of like a little bit of that, and the fact that she also breaks the fourth wall and talks to the camera a lot, I very much enjoy.
I do enjoy the fourth wall break. It's fun.
Yeah, I think that the supporting cast on this show has been pretty great as well compared to, like, some of the other ones. I just feel like, especially her coworkers, I love them. I think they're really funny, and I just think in general it's had, like, a lot of supporting characters that, like, get a chance to shine. I also, I think it has the best cameo ever with Madison. I want a Wongers and Madison show right the fuck now. I'm obsessed. I'm kinda pissed we didn't see her in the finale. I wanted to know what she was up to.
Madison is with two N's, one Y, but it's not where you think.
But I just fell in love with her. I was obsessed with her, and the fact that, like, she kept calling him Wongers, I'm like, I love Wongers.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a show that, like, while I didn't love it, I did appreciate that it was so different than everything else. Like, I appreciate breaking the formula kinda or trying to, as I would put it, but I will say that the last 3 episodes I really liked.
Yeah. They ended strongly, which is pretty incredible for some of the Marvel shows out there. I feel like that's where they struggle,
Yeah.
and at first, I was kind of worried about that mid-finale, and then that whole thing with the
Spoiler
sorry,
alert.
guys.
If you haven't watched it yet, just look at the timestamps and skip to the next things we talk about.
Yeah,
But
sorry, I'll say spoiler alert here, but it was cool when
yeah,
at the end of the episode, it
the
goes
Kevin bot.
extremely meta with the Kevin AI that
Yeah,
controls MCU.
that was great. That whole finale was really good. It was totally unexpected. Like I
Yes.
liked the fourth wall break, but when she like literally breaks the fourth wall and like she jumps through the Disney Plus menu, I was like,
Yeah,
okay, this is funny.
it's
I like this.
incredible. I thought it was really fun. I'm also obsessed with her in Daredevil. I thought they had wonderful chemistry. He was great to see in a really funny, like, lighthearted tone, and that scene of him, like, doing the walk of shame with the devil costume
That
on
was
is
pretty
just so
funny.
good. I was like, "This is my new favorite thing that Daredevil has ever done." I'm obsessed with him. And the hallway scene, they gave us one.
Yeah, it definitely made me feel better about the show that they're gonna do upcoming because, like, you know me, like, the Netflix Daredevil is my
Mhm.
favorite thing that favorite Marvel property ever made.
Naturally, it's great.
And so, yeah, like, they did a good job with it. The suit looks kinda weird, but
I kinda like it.
it's homage to the original suit, and he's gonna get his other suit back, but it looks like the Netflix Daredevil suit, so that's good.
And they use some of the music, right?
Yeah, when you first see him, they cue it up and you hear it. I heard it, I'm like, "Yes." Also, Charlie Cox is so good in any courtroom scene.
He's so
Like,
incredible.
that was one of the things with the show that I didn't like is that they called it, like, a legal drama, but there's not really that much, like, legal stuff that happens, so having that one courtroom scene, I'm like, "Yes,
It was
I
like
love."
legal hijinks kind of shit.
That's a good description. That's a good description, yeah, legal hijinks. Daredevil was really the reason that I pushed through to finish the show, because, like I said, I didn't really enjoy it up until episode 6, which is the retreat episode, and I actually thought that
So
episode was
fun.
really funny, and and yeah, it was really it ended really strong, and I thought the CGI was a lot better in those last couple
I
episodes.
do love though, they're like, "This the we're gonna have to cut that out because, the CGI guys, they're working on the next project," and then you hear, like, the Black Panther drums, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's funny because that one's coming out next." They're probably busting their asses to get it done in time.
Well, and then there's that line that she had at the end there is pretty iconic. The Hulk smashes buildings, She Hulk smashes the fourth wall. Sometimes Matt Murdock.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She's so charming, and I just thought she was really funny, and, like,
Yeah.
it was my 2nd favorite behind WandaVision until, like, the last few episodes, I think, really made it better than that, in my opinion,
Hmm.
and just, like, even more meta and, like, weird and just out there, like, that's why I think I liked WandaVision the most is because it was so bizarre and, like, "What the fuck is happening?" It was just so different than all the other MCU shows have been pretty similar. These 2 I feel like are standouts as, like, totally different stuff,
Hmm.
and they, like, are just very interesting to me, and they're also both female-led shows, so I was here
Hmm.
for it. I thought She-Hulk was just incredible. I'm excited for season 2.
Yeah, I think if I stopped watching, I probably wouldn't be excited for season 2, but those last 3 episodes were really strong. It's kind of the opposite of WandaVision. WandaVision was really
So
great
good.
up until the end,
Yep.
and this was kind of the opposite where it was like seemed like they were trying to find their footing and it wasn't sure, but then yeah, the ending seemed really strong.
I think that's why it just cemented it as my favorite now of, like, the shows just because it ended on such a strong note, and, like, I just feel like the rest of them haven't really done that.
I really hope that they keep, at least on some level, the romance between Matt Murdock
Me too.
and She-Hulk because their chemistry was great, and I
Incredible.
loved when they had the drink together after the trial, and she looks at the camera, she's like, "You're feeling this, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
I'm not the only one. You're feeling this, right?" Like,
yeah.
yeah, they had great chemistry. Also, She-Hulk is like the first thing I feel like Disney has ever done where like they acknowledge sex.
Sex, yep, uh-huh, 100%. I mean, Eternals, there's technically a sex scene, but it's,
Oh yeah,
like,
that's right.
5 seconds long, and you don't see anything but, like, naked shoulders and arms in the sand or whatever. It's, like, just not anything. There's nothing.
Well, then in that one, like, clip or that fake, like, college clip of her wild out, it's like, she's just whale tailing it. It's like, "Alright, Disney."
That was a good throwback. I haven't heard Whale Tail in a while. The thong. Well, and then so did you also watch, the other Marvel thing that I told you about, Werewolf by Night?
Oh, yes, I did.
What did you
I'm a
think?
little late to the party, but I loved it.
Wasn't it great?
It was so fun. So, another spoiler warning, look at the timestamp again.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're spoiling everything Marvel, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night was super fun, and so I think She-Hulk with the whole, like, acknowledging sex and the Werewolf by Night acknowledging actual violence, like people fighting people and killing people.
And showing it on screen, like, not just like, oh, you can show them being stabbed from the front, but you can't show the knife coming out the back. That was, like, a rule for a long time, and now it's
Yeah,
like, no, this show, I was like, "Wow,
yeah,
that's incredible." I go, "Come on, Marvel." That's what we want. People, like, have you not watched The Boys? People are okay with that.
yeah. But I mean, I'm feeling better about Daredevil show and Blade. Like my biggest fear is that Blade is going to be PG-13.
I don't think they would. And same with, Deadpool.
Well, I
Did
think
you
they
hear that thing?
confirmed. Yeah, I saw Wolverine.
Yeah,
which
fuck yeah.
I don't know if I'm excited for it.
Oh, are you kidding? I love them, just the fact that those 2 guys are, like, best friends, it's gonna be a good movie.
Like, I'm excited for this circumstance because they're best friends, but, like, I'm just tired of, like, this whole, we use another character to promote another character's movie thing, like,
I mean, they you don't that's the thing though, is, like, maybe if it was, like, his first movie, but it's, like, it's Deadpool's 3rd movie, like, it's okay. I think
I
we're
know,
alright.
but
We're
it
all
just
gonna show up no matter what for Deadpool, and the fact that they're bringing back Hugh Jackman is just like, "Oh god, yeah." Plus, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard something along the lines of, like, the X-Men cast or people who are from Fox as X-Men, their contracts are good until the 2023 or something.
yeah, so they have to wait, yeah.
That's why they're using him now and then doing X-Men later, so maybe it's like, "Well, we got one last shot at Hugh if he wants to
Yeah.
do it," and he's like, "Fuck it, alright." For Ryan Reynolds, I imagine that, like, that'll be great, but I know what you're saying.
I heard a theory or something that somebody wishes they would do, and I agree with this. The idea would be that Hugh Jackman is in the Deadpool movie as Hugh Jackman, but Deadpool thinks that he is Wolverine, and so the whole movie it's just him as Hugh Jackman, and he's like, "Come on, man, do the Wolverine thing," and he's like, I'm not Wolverine. I play Wolverine." Like, that would be so funny.
I would be into that, dude. I like it. I do agree with you though overall, like, I just feel like, I don't want Marvel to become doing too much of what they've already been doing, so, like, things like Werewolf by Night and She-Hulk are, like, encouraging for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, and Blade 2, it's like, I'm excited for that even like, I'm okay with them delaying it to make sure it's done well and done
yeah,
right because Mahershala Ali is the reason that it got stopped in the
yeah.
first place because he said the script wasn't good enough. That guy's won 2 Oscars. Let's listen to him. We'll let him get final approval and make sure this shit's up to par because I think he's gonna be great.
He's gonna be so good.
I mean, the original Blade movies, I never saw them until I think a couple years ago, and I was just like,
Oh,
I mean, that opening in the nightclub with the blood and
yeah,
it's so fucking good. That shit is bomb. I mean, I think there's only 3 of them, right?
yeah,
Okay,
and
so I've seen them all.
the 3rd one is meh, but the 3rd one is where Ryan Reynolds created Deadpool. He's not Deadpool, but, like, that's where he started creating that
I
character.
honestly thought he was for, like, 90% of the movie, and then I was like, "Oh, he's not Deadpool. Oh, okay." Because I
Yeah,
just watched this a couple years ago, so I assumed that this
yeah,
was, like, Deadpool, and then I was like, "Oh, yeah, but he was in another movie as Deadpool with Wolverine, right?" And then I was like, "Oh, yeah," which is
yeah,
still maybe my favorite part of De is it Deadpool 2 when he goes and, like, kills himself in that?
from the Wolverine one. That's great.
So good.
So back to Dead or Werewolf by Night. Yeah, it was great. It was so different, so unique. It was a lot of fun. I didn't realize that Man Thing was in it.
I know, I had no idea who even Man-Thing was, honestly, so apologies.
He's Marvel's Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I figured it out. At first, I mean, just by seeing his face, I was like, "I don't know what the fuck that is," but I loved the what was his name? They would call
Ted.
him by his name, Ted. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I loved that so much.
I had one question that I wanted to ask you. Is there any indication of like when, like the time period for this?
I have no idea.
There that was the one thing I'm like, there's a lot of like conflicting stuff. There's like everything looks old except the woman who looks like Kristen Ritter is
Doesn't she
dressed,
look exactly like Jessica Jones? She's even dressed the same.
yeah. She's like dressed very modern, whereas everyone else is dressed like, they're in Transylvania.
Like they're in a Universal Studios old black and white movie, which is the thing too. I think the black and white makes me feel like it's like from the 30s, but I have actually no idea.
Yeah. Well, then there's electricity, obviously, but then they have the shock sticks.
Mhm.
But then the last thing that I was really just confused by is that at the very end of the movie, he's like, "You hungry? Feeling sushi." I'm like, "Sushi is just readily available?" Like,
Yeah, it can't have been too early, but yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it was maybe done that way on purpose
I
because
feel like it has to.
it has to be that kind of style in order to like I think it really fit with the theme to make it like
Yeah.
old school, but then I mean, I'm assuming this won't just be a one-off because people have really enjoyed it. I hope Morbius never shows up, but that's it. Bring
No,
along Werewolf by Night. I thought he was wonderful.
I feel like there's got to be a Disney Plus origin show on those two characters, Jack and Ted. How
I
did
would
Ted
watch it.
become the man thing? How
Yeah.
did he become a werewolf?